Welcome to another episode of HorseGirlTV. I'm your host, Angela Walkup. Today we're going to talk to retired Navy captain, fellow horse girl, and author of Believing in Horses, Valerie Ormond. So come along, let's check it out. Valerie, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about how you got started with writing this book and what your inspiration was for Believing in Horses.
Okay, I've always written. I was an English major in school. Both my parents were English majors. But this particular book, I ended up buying the horse that's on the cover.
Lucky.
Lucky, who's the star of the book. And when I was buying him, the people who owned him, the daughter was very sad that he was going away. And so I jokingly said, oh, well, tell her that he's going to Washington, D.C., and he'll do something very important like go be a senator. And the mom who sold him kind of looked at me and laughed and said, you know, that would make a really cute idea for a children's book.
Right on.
And I had never thought about writing a children's book or young adult book, but I started the wheels turning and
that's
went from there.
So what do you do when you're not writing?
Right now I'm very involved with a bunch of volunteer organizations. I work with the Maryland Horse Council, trying to do all things horses in Maryland. And I'm on the board of directors for Desire Ministries in Maryland also, which is a group that is using rescued horses to help rescue people in therapy kind of situations. And I ride in my spare time.
You're a writer and a rider?
A writer and a rider. I retired 2 years ago, and I've really never been busier.
Believing in Horses, did you have to do a lot of research for this, or did you just know all the stuff that you put in here? How did that happen?
I did have to do some research. When I was coming up with the idea of what I was going to write about, I decided unwanted horses was a big enough issue to want to address and to want to share with people and let people know about. So I knew something about it, but I started doing some research on the internet and realized that I needed to do some in-person research to really learn more about it. So
you actually went out to rescues?
I did. I did. And the two rescues that are mentioned in the book, Freedom Hill Horse Rescue and Thoroughbred Placement and Rescue Incorporated, both in Maryland. They're both real live rescues that welcomed me, brought me in.
And they're in the book?
They're in the book. And they actually gave me their permission to use their names in the book. And the depictions of them in the book are true to life. And so there's really nothing like hands-on and speaking with people and seeing what they do every day and to get their perspective. And I really want to just give a shout out to those hardworking people. Right on.
Writing a book, I think, is a fairly huge accomplishment. What challenges did you run into when you started the process or when you got to the point where your manuscript was done?
Yeah. It is a challenge. I actually like the writing part, coming up with the ideas and making the plot and talking about the people and the characters and things like that. The challenge was there's so much negative out there to people who are going to pursue writing. Oh, you'll never get published and this. And I found that to be a little daunting, but decided not to let it stop me. But I was also very fortunate that I have an extremely strong support network. My family, my mother, my husband, who has been with me every step of the way and just said, go ahead and do it, and I know you can do it. My brother, who's an educator, he was a teacher, and who helped me develop things like discussion guides and also went on some of my field trips with me and really helped me. And so, having people behind you, friends, it really can help boost you up.
So you talked to people a lot while you were in the process?
Absolutely, yeah. And like I said, my brother, helped me, gave me some ideas. My mom helped edit at one point before I went to the real editors and up to the end. And my husband, of course, was always there to listen to my never-ending stories.
Now, this was your first book?
Yes.
Do you have other projects on the burners? Like what's going on now as far as your writing goes?
I've already started work on the second book, and it's going to be Believing in Horses 2. And much like the theme of this...
Is it Sadie and Lucky?
It's Sadie and Lucky again. And it's, while this book focuses on unwanted horses, Believing in Horses 2 is going to be focusing on equine therapy, using horses for different forms of therapy.
Okay.
And, but a lot of the same characters will come back, and a lot of the same horses, and Lothmar stables will be featured again. So I'm really looking forward to it. The subject matter is going to be quite different,
Okay.
but I hope, like some people have told me that they've been educated on the unwanted horse problem, I hope that in the second book I can focus on a little more on military families and also on the challenges that they face and the use of horses in therapy and how they can help people with their challenges.
Looking forward to seeing that one.
Thank you.
The book is Believing in Horses, and Valerie, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you again to all those people out there helping me.
Well, that about wraps it up for this episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.